Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios and brought to you always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for the 1st of April.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
G'day there, welcome along. April Fool's Day with myself, Finn Caddie and James McOnie.
Oh, kia ora whānau. Hey, Mash.
Morning, boys. How
What
are
the
you?
hell?
I mean, April Fool's, first and foremost.
I thought so. I was going, what the hell is bloody Mash doing here? What's he doing here? But, hey, it's great to see you, mate.
I just spent an hour and a half in Auckland traffic. The first time I've ever had to do that. I've been coming in at, 4:30 each morning for the last 6-7 years. And this morning, holy shit.
You'll learn to love it though, Mash, because it's the only time that people won't be bothering you. For me, I've got 3 Punishers at home, under constant fire from my kids, under constant fire when I get to work. And I've now accepted the fact that sitting an hour and a half in the car by yourself with your phone off, radio off, is the best time of the day.
It's as good as it gets.
It's as good as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. It is a bit of downtime. It's a bit of thinking time, isn't it, G-Lane? You can come up with some really good ideas in traffic. But for you, Mash, you might want to follow the lead of a friend of mine. I will not name his name, but he has rigged up his screen at the front of his car with all his Netflix, everything, Apple TV. He's watched Ted Lasso. He's watching Severance in traffic. He is doing the whole freaking thing. I'm not going to name names, but he says if traffic's bad enough, he can get through about 3 or 4 eps on the way to work.
Yeah, there you go. So you just turn it into your advantage there, Finn. Come on, stop being negative about it, okay?
Do you know, it's
Don't come
perfect.
into this podcast with your negativity, okay?
It's perfect for the EPL. I was thinking of that tomorrow, that Man United are playing their first game back after the international break in quite some time. 8 o'clock. Smack bang in the middle of my commute. Not anymore, McOnie.
I feel like I've just set a really bad example here to the young guy at work, i.e. Mash.
It doesn't matter.
Just to everybody.
Well, look.
Hey, watch TV in your car.
I know,
what could go wrong?
Mate, he's driving a real, Ford Focus?
Yeah, 2002 Ford Focus.
There is nothing electronic in that car whatsoever. There's no screens. There's no nothing. It's got a brake and an accelerator and a handbrake.
Have you seen those people when you're driving behind them and they've got their phone so close to the steering wheel that you know they're barely looking at the road? It's pretty much 80% phone. It's a massive phone.
That's how my partner drives.
I got done for looking at my phone. I got fined $150 and I got 25 demerit points. Pulled over.
Yes.
Okay, you'll love this. In the Flavour radio truck as well.
Oh, yeah.
So they pulled me over. He goes, we had an officer back there hiding behind a billboard, spotted you looking at your phone. And I was like, yeah, it's there. I'm looking for directions. See, it's on Google Maps. And he goes, you can't have it there. And I was like, so I was going to go into it. I decided to have, not an argument, a discussion. I was like, so what's the difference to someone looking at maps there? And he goes, oh, you need a cradle to put it there, and then you're allowed to look at it. But you can't look down. I was like, well, so looking across at a screen and down, there's a difference? And he goes, yeah, there is. He's like, okay, is that proven, is it? He goes, it's the rules, mate. And I was like, okay, so I just need to sellotape it to the thing. Is no, proper cradle. I was like, what's the difference? And so this young guy was like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, he's met his match.
Yeah, he just wrote the ticket. I had to pay the fine. But if you have a cradle and put it in front of your face, you can watch whatever you want.
I've had an Uber driver who's double screened, like he's got a burner phone and he's running 2.
Oh, yeah.
And so that means that there's like, I don't know, maybe 20% road that he's looking at as well. Yeah. So, but the thing is, I don't condone what my friend at work is doing, but he seems to be living a happy life in all the traffic.
Does his first name rhyme with Pa?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. No more guesses.
Okay. So, I tell you what, the circuit of Uber drivers, one of the greatest things about getting an Uber driver is when like their phone goes and they go, do you mind if I take this call? And like you go, yeah, mate, you can take it, mate.
What am I going to say? No?
Yeah. And they take it and they're like, and it's on speaker. And they're like, ah! And they're like just yelling at each other. And it's like, and then for about 10 minutes, you're just getting waterboarded by the most hostile conversation.
Oh, yeah. Agreeing to the phone call. I get in there and ask permission for a phone call first. Where I go, hey, I hope you don't mind, but I'm just going to make a work call.
Yes, I do that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to do it. And then that's when I phone you, G-Lane.
But that's fine. But it's like when you have a speakerphone, it's the Uber driver yelling at either his wife or what sounds like his business partner that he's about to break up with. And
I feel like this leads into our next topic, but maybe not.
Yes, it does. Listen, now have a listen to this.
Right, today we have a masterclass on Sanju Samson. संजू सैमसन की बैटिंग और पावर हिटिंग का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है उनका प्रीलिम मूवमेंट. वो शॉर्ट बॉल पर बहुत स्ट्रांग है और वो बॉक्स में डीप जाकर खेलते हैं. वो पीछे भी जाकर खेलते हैं और फ्रंट लेग इस्तेमाल करते हैं.
If you haven't seen this is Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson, he's over commentating at the IPL. He decided to commentate. He didn't get picked up in the auction, so he decided to commentate. Not come back and play for New Zealand, just commentate.
That's so weird from Steady the Ship.
Yeah, and now
I feel like the ship could have gone down. He's lucky that Mark Chapman exists and Muhammad Abbas.
Totally, this is a great innovation. So he's been AI'd to speak. Is it Hindi?
Yep.
It's Hindi AI. Yes.
Yeah, Hindi AI.
Like it, yeah.
Now, this is an opportunity, I think, for the ACC. Now, we need to Hindu AI our commentary.
Well, I was going to ask you, is it possible to maybe hiff Jason Hoyt through a similar filter?
I don't think that'll get us any more listeners.
No, okay. What were you thinking then? Were you thinking...
No,
well, if he's talking about his granddad, his
Granddad
sexcapades in the rest home down in Palmy, I think an Indian audience might actually warm to that.
Oh, yeah, it's true. But his commentary is always short of a length, and I think the Indians may be a bit suspicious after 5 overs of just short of a length.
I'm surprised that Hindi is a beautiful language. To me, it is actually the language of love, not French. French is...
It's a bit dirty, isn't it?
It is a bit dirty. It's sleazy. But Hindi's beautiful. But I'm surprised they don't have...
Really? Okay, I didn't take you for that type of guy, James McOnie, but interesting.
It's a beautiful language, but I'm surprised they don't have a word for front leg. Short ball, I understand, because you could get really mixed up if you talk about short balls in Hindi and cross it over into English. But front leg, I think... They should be a word in Hindi for front leg.
I enjoy the hybrid nature of it. Listen to it, because every now and then you can understand what he's talking about.
Right, today we have a masterclass on Sanju Samson. संजू सैमसन की बैटिंग और पावर हिटिंग का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है उनका प्रीलिम मूवमेंट. वो शॉर्ट बॉल पर बहुत स्ट्रांग है और वो बॉक्स में डीप जाकर खेलते हैं. वो पीछे भी जाकर खेलते हैं और फ्रंट लेग इस्तेमाल करते हैं. अपने हाथ को घुमाते हैं जिससे...
One thing I'd say is
power hitting.
I've done with your power hitting, and there was another one as well. But anyway, I think you know how like these days it's not okay to do an Indian accent. Okay,
sure,
it's been banned. But what they've done with Kane is they've taken him to a very dangerous edge. They're edging him on the point of where you go anymore. Like, please don't make Kane order Indian food or anything with this Hindi AI. Because I think that could be actually really damaging for him. You know, you don't want to be called racist, but when you're being put through an AI filter and you're coming out with a perfect Indian accent, which is what they're doing there.
Well, can it be any more harmful than Danny Morrison dressing up in blackface with a turban and putting on an Indian accent prior to an IPL game?
I think we're talking about two very separate things there, G-Lane.
They love it. They love that. Nothing happened about that. They thought it was just a hard case white guy dressing up as an Indian.
Well, I mean,
that was a very strange turn of events, which of course we put on Crowd Goes Wild without doubt straight away.
I think we should find
more,
it.
Please.
Let's find it and put it in here.
Yeah.
If we can.
Monday Night Madness in Mahali.
And he goes... He does the head wobble and everything.
Well, he got specific permission to do the head wobble.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right, that's all right. Who do you get permission from that?
Yeah, good question.
Just his floor manager out the cricket.
Well, look, there's some horrific crimes.
He goes, wobble or no wobble? They went, yeah, you're fine. Go for it.
Some horrific crimes have been committed by New Zealand cricket players in the subcontinent because you can't forget Kyle Mills's haka.
Oh, that was not that long ago either, was it?
Kyle Mills.
Kyle Mills. He came.
Don't get sucked into doing a haka. We all get asked to do hakas. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're famous or not. You go overseas. I went to a dinner party in Paris, cooked them some frickin' eggs. I actually cooked the dinner because I said, I'll show you, Birch. Yeah, I show you French people. So I cooked them a roast chicken. Massive chicken,
Like a full steroid
chicken.
Yeah.
And then, anyway... at the end of the night, they went, can you do a haka? I went, no. There's no haka for you. Because
so instead of, would you like cheese, dessert, port, or haka?
Yeah. And I went, no, because you need more than one person. However, I remember went to a Danish school once where my mate was a teacher, and she promised them that I was going to do a haka. I said, no, I'm just going to do a speech about my work and what I do. So I did a speech, tried to give them some really good material. There's some good gear there, some really good jokes. They didn't laugh at all. And so I got to the end and I just went,
Oh, the panic haka.
Come on! Yeah, so I just launched into it. Yeah.
Oh,
and so,
well, these days, back then, was this pre or post mobile phones? Was this pre-mobile? Because that's the danger now. And
everyone had mobiles. I was worried about the Parisian haka just getting out as some random, the
other context haka is a dangerous haka.
Yeah, the Mowbrays.
It doesn't look good.
Remember the Mowbray haka on the back of the back of the super yacht after the America's Cup? That copped a bit of flack as well. Came billionaires ripping off hakas drunk at 11 o'clock at night.
I did a dangerously drunk haka once with Mills Muliaina. Sorry for the name drop. But it was in Japan, and we were being hosted and everything was going on, and the pressure was going on Mills, and I went, he's not gonna cave. And then suddenly he caved, and I thought, oh shit, here we go.
You to join him.
Oh, you got to go all in.
Yeah. Shirts off?
No, not for that one.
It's a shame.
Not for that one.
Often it happens at overseas weddings. Like I had a friend who got, I didn't go, but he got married to a Chilean lady, and about 6 or 7 Kiwis went over, and they were all forced to do a haka at the end of the ceremony. And obviously a few beers in, shirts came off, dress pants. No shirt, dress pants haka are one of the best wedding hakas.
Yeah.
But in a foreign land like Chile, Japan, but maybe not at home. One great haka that I experienced was a beer fest haka.
Yeah.
And this was when they went to the new haka, and it was very fresh. So they went from kamate to, is it the kapango?
Oh, kapango.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was like probably one game old, and it was very fresh. And I was running tours to the beer fest. And a guy obviously took it upon himself to learn the new one, and he was very proud of the fact. And he got up on a table in the middle of Beer Fest and shushed everyone, took his shirt off, and did the new haka, and to deaf silence, and didn't even get a clap at the end because everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And even the Germans are like, and all the foreigners are like, "What's he doing? What's going on?" And then he kind of sheepishly got off the table and just molded back into the crowd in his lederhosen.
Oh, did anyone back it up with Inakamati or something like that?
No, it was because it was a midday one. It was a midday haka. So
Māori guy?
Nah. White as you like. He had a sleeve.
Oh.
We all do.
Are we back?
No, we're not. We're not.
I think drunk haka are fine as long as you get stuck in and do it properly, and you don't spare the horses. You go full noise, and that's the whole thing. If you're honouring someone, like at a wedding, you're doing a haka. That's my most recent one, Storm Purvis's wedding. Jumped in, did a haka. The guy leading it might have been Sri Lankan. I mean, it was fine. It was a bloody good haka. It was all the Rosmini boys who went to school with Dan, Storm's husband. So, look, and a few sort of harbour rugby mates.
Yep.
And bloody bit of McOnie hanging out the back.
Who doesn't
love that?
How do you coordinate which... How do you coordinate
talking about the haka?
How do you coordinate which haka you're doing? Because does someone go, we're doing kamate, or we're doing...
It's always kamate unless you're in a certain... for example, I could probably... I've looked at the Chiefs haka. It's quite similar to the Hamilton boys haka, the old haka that we used to do. So, yeah, there's some that you could... I mean, that's the thing. I'm pretty hopeless as a Māori. I don't know enough haka. I know that some of the origins and stuff, but... kamate is kind of...
That's your go-to?
That's your go-to. I mean, you've probably seen some of the moves that if you ever watched Te Matatini and you see some of the moves, they're quite universal as well, you know? Yeah.
What I don't understand is why does it have to be a haka, though? It doesn't have to be a haka or nothing. No one ever really, will compromise to just a beautiful waiata post dinner or something like that. I don't know. Your rendition of Pokari Kariana, for example, McOnie maybe would sit better post dinner at a French, what was it?
Yeah.
Dinner date rather than cranking out the full.
Or poye.
Well, they did. They were singing around a table. Yeah, could I do poye? No. Yeah. I mean, we've all got... have you done a waiata?
No.
I mean, there's no room for irony. It's a lot like the mullet, isn't it? The haka. Is it, the moment there's any kind of irony that creeps into it, you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, and look, and the worst haka is the flash mob haka.
Yeah, not a great haka.
Remember for a while there, we were flash mob hakaing everything. I think it was when the Rugby World Cup was here.
Yep.
And there were flash mob hakas popping up everywhere. Sniper one, take the shot. Anyway, okay, we're going to take a quick ad because we've got some Super Rugby to recap from the weekend. What a round. And we've got an idea going forward with Crusaders fans. Right, Super Rugby in the weekend. James McOnie, Chiefs Mana had the weekend off. The Blues had the weekend off. But holy hecka, what a weekend. We'll start with the Canes absolutely dealing to the Waratahs at home, 57-12. And all the chat is around Heather Duplessis.
Yeah, Heather Duplessis-Kadiffi's having a monster season. He's going to buck a huge trend of actually choosing a shoulder at open side flanker for the All Blacks. We've always had it's been like a roller coaster. You have to be this tall to ride the number 7 jersey. Yeah. But he's about 5'10" maybe, but he's broad.
Oh, man.
And he's strong.
He's Quadzilla.
And, because turnovers are a big thing, you look at the guys who are best at turnovers, Tavatava Nawai, Tazano, is it Reimer, the guy from the Brumbies? They're all shorties, Heather Duplessis-Kadiffi. They're all about that same height. So we're going to have to get with the program and say our open side flanker is going to be a bit stumpy. And I'm here for it because I met the great George Smith last year at the Polynesian Pacifica Rugby Hall of Fame inauguration dinner.
Yep.
And he was going, there is a place in rugby for people like me who are short with a long back and stumpy legs. We still have a place in rugby, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, well, because the majority of the turnovers, from what we've been doing the commentary, are the hookers and the people like Heather Duplessis-Kadiffi, the short, squat.
Look at Tavatava Nawai.
Yeah.
He's a squat.
You just got to get over the ball. And that's not someone like Dalton Papali'i, unfortunately, who's like 6'3" and a monster. Same with Ethan Blackadder. Harder for those tall guys to get down.
Yeah, exactly. If you want a turnover specialist, and that's why they kind of whiffed on Lockie Boucher. He wasn't squat. He's quite lean. He sort of looked like a triathlete, really, didn't he? But the thing is, he was a turnover king, and he left. Do you remember old Lockie Boucher?
The not good-looking brother. No, the better-looking brother.
Better-looking brother.
Yeah,
Holy shit. Yeah, he's a dreamboat. And he went to Japan. He was considered too lightweight, not a good enough ball carrier. Well, you can't say that about Heather Duplessis-Kadiffi.
Yeah, a bit too much cha-hooing after every turnover for my liking, though.
No, I love the cha-hooing. I love the way they're talking to him. It's because he's a winner. All you've ever done is create a hot commentary team.
Conceding less penalties as well this season, thank God, which I feel like does make a difference. I was reading up an article on him that he wrote, that he partook in for the New Zealand Herald, and it was just about 300 words of him saying how he's done some self-realization work and understands now that he's got to add a bit of discipline to his game, and it seems to be that, look, he might be in the All Black squad.
We all come to that point, Mash, and I'm sure you will as well in your career, where you actually add some discipline and stuff. Like
that's true.
At the moment, it's just bondage.
Yeah, at the moment, it's just... Well, anything goes at the moment.
Yeah,
He's still just finding his feet until he actually finds his lane.
How old is he?
27, would he be?
Is he? Is he only 27? Also, he's part of the high-performance breeding program, isn't he? Because who's his partner? He's got a netball...
Yeah, nice.
He's got a silver fern partner, so he's part of the...
28, but just turned 28.
Right, okay. I mean, he's a hot dude.
Got a lot of ink. Like I was saying, Quadzilla as well. But the big game of the weekend, the one that messed up every single multi that was going, including my 10-leg multi, which I nailed, a mixture of horses and Super Rugby, cricket and AFC. And that was the leg that let me down, and that is the Crusaders, who not only got beaten by Moana Pacifica, they got humped 45-29, and that 29 is generous to the Crusaders because they got a consolation try at the end.
Right, you got 5 minutes, make the most of it, boys. I'm out.
Oh, that's poor. I think you should leave this one off, Mash.
Come on, Mash.
I want to know how it feels.
I mean,
to be spanked.
Manara and I talked about this yesterday. We've done so many favours for the Super Rugby competition over the last 18 months.
You know what?
We've put our neck on the line.
That's an arrogant take.
That's an insult. That's an insult. That's saying that Moana Pacifica are a charity case. That is not only arrogant, but mildly racist.
Don't accept that match.
I mean, I feel like words are being put in my mouth.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Exactly.
Look, arrogance I will take. Mildly racist I won't take.
Yeah.
I think that what happened over the weekend down there, not good. But it was not a charity case, I can assure you of that.
Oh, man, it was a great game to commentate. I did it with Matt Ward, and we both at the end said that's easily the best game we have commentated.
You would say that.
And Matt Ward was just loving it because obviously a Blues fan, he's put up a lot of heartache this season, and to watch the Crusaders, after what they did to the Blues last weekend, watch them just couldn't get their shit together. And watching the Easter Island statue, Rob Penny, just got turned to stone, literally, in the box was one of the highlights.
He's not
turning to stone in the box is usually a good thing, but in this case, I feel like Rob Penny has done it at the wrong time. You know, like ideally you do turn to stone in the box, but with this game, what Moana did though was pretty much outplay, outmuscle, outthink them. It was so comprehensive that really the fact that they rested a couple of players, I would say maybe that is kind of the disrespect that it's come back to bite them really, because you're resting Severed Peace and David Havili, two backs. I understand resting forwards because you have to rest the big fellas. You look at the work rate of a forward, I get it, but resting two guys like that pretty much said, we're okay, we've got this, we'll put our other guys out there, and they got massively slapped in the face. And that was a question that probably I don't know if it was asked post-match, but I'd ask it quite happily. Hey, you rested two of your best players. You regretting that? Probably, right?
Yeah, and then as you walk away, he'll go, who's that fucking cunt?
He would too. He would. But come on, call me it. I want to hear it. It's like,
say it to my face.
Say it to my face. It's like Fat Amy going, punch me, kick me in the vag or whatever. What is she saying? Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, something like that. Kick me in the vag,
Kick me in the vag.
Okay,
kick me in
we did ask everyone because no one saw that coming. I think the Crusaders were paying $1.03 at the start of that game, and Moana Pacifica were paying 18s, 13 plus, and they were paying $9 to win. And we challenged the audience. We said, we want to see slips. Did anyone back Moana Pacifica? And we've got one.
We found one.
This one came through from a guy called Alex Ryan. He put $20 on Moana Pacifica 13 plus at $18.
Wow.
Well, so there's rent that way.
$3.60. So well done to that man. That's gutsy pre-game because literally no one saw that coming.
That is the 13 plus is the thing that is awesome. They won by 16 points. That 45 points is the most points ever scored this century by a Super Rugby opponent in Christchurch against the Crusaders. So that is... it's pretty bold. But if you were looking at that Moana Pacifica team, the way they've done it now, like the importance of Ardie Savea is huge. But also Miracle Fa'ailangi is going to be the best player in the world soon. I mean, Ardie probably is right now, you know, if you consider he was World Rugby Player of the Year and then sort of went off to Japan for a bit and his highlight reel was crazy.
Yes.
You know, and now he's back. But Miracle Fa'ailangi, I hope New Zealand Rugby doesn't try to poach him or fry him or roast him or whatever, because... let him play for Manu Samoa. Just let him be free.
He's already played for Manu Samoa.
He has, yeah. But, you know, there's a 3-year stand down now.
Right. When did he last play for them?
Yeah, well, probably recently. But the thing is, he's young.
Yeah.
He's very young.
That's true.
So this is the thing. Don't try. Just let him play for Manu Samoa, because they're actually a legit team. And if they get him at full strength. Remember, the last time they played in the World Cup against England, they were one pass away from beating them in Lille.
Yeah.
And... if you had people like Miracle, all these guys who are peaking from Moana Pacifica going to play for Manu Samoa, shit, what a team.
How about Pellegrini? He has got the biggest right boot on him in Super Rugby, I reckon.
Yeah, amazing.
He kicked one out of the 22 that went to, it was a 22-22. It was a 20-50. It was 20-20. He basically carved off territory at will in that game. And you could see it was really hurting the Crusaders because they'd be on attack and then like, what the fuck? Now we're all the way back in our own 22. The best thing about Moana Pacifica, they weren't tempted to gobble clock. They just kept getting back in their 22 and scoring tries.
Yeah.
And we love that because any team playing the Crusaders currently, they would just see with 20 minutes to go, let's just try and gobble the clock, we're ahead. But Moana just kept going back and just putting in more and more tries on them. It was great to see.
But the kicking, you're right, Pellegrini has just been a revelation. He's Australian. Tongan, Australian, and Italian, So he's the guy who's come along and sort of provided everything they needed with that sort of the steady hand at 10. But his kicking game was kind of Crusaders-esque. Every time you think the Crusaders are having this incredible game, when you look at their kicking stats, it's high. Like, they always pump it down and deep into the opponent's territory, and they just took a leaf out of their book, the old school book of Carter, Moonga, all the
Tell you what, James O'Connor didn't have a great game at 10 for that particular game. His first game starting, minus his hickey that he received the week before, so that might have been the key difference there if he'd gone into that game with a hickey. But let me just read through the current top 6 of Super Rugby for you, James McOnie and Finn.
Please.
Number 1, the Reds. Number 2, Chiefs Mana. 3, Crusaders. 4, the Brumbies. 5, the Waratahs. 6, the Force.
4 Aussie teams in the top 6,
Four Aussie teams in the top 6.
Those Aussie teams are going to go in free fall. I think the Brumbies are actually still probably... I mean, I know the Reds appear to be better, and they are okay, but I think the Hurricanes are going to go back up there. They're on their way up.
My question to you, James McOnie, is which of those teams are legit? Like, out of those 4 that are in there from Aussie, you've got the Reds, the Brumbies, the Waratahs, the Force. Who are still going to be in the top 6?
Just the Reds and Brumbies, I reckon.
Okay.
Like, they've got enough cattle that they're strong. They've got good home records and all that sort of stuff. I don't think any of those other teams have got a chance, or the Tars and the Force can win away, really. And sometimes they don't even try. Like, the Force sent a pretend team to Christchurch, remember?
Yeah, well, they just about tipped up. Were they playing the Reds? They just about tipped the Reds up over the weekend.
Yeah, well, they can beat each other up,
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the Hurricanes go back up. It's a dogfight between the Landers, Moana Pacifica, and Blues, but I think that they'll move up into the top 6 as well. Some of them.
Yeah, the Blues have. I think they posted something on their social media, the back 9, their last 9 games of the season. Their back 9 looks pretty good. A lot of home games for the Blues on their back 9.
Geez, you'd hope so.
So you hopefully see them, but who knows? Because at the moment, every time I say that they're going to get up there, they just shit the bed again.
Yeah, it's actually made for the best competition in years.
Oh,
and
so good.
It's I'd love to see Moana Pacifica get a shot in the playoffs, because them at full strength is scary as fuck for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially what they did in the weekend. So back again this weekend. Chiefs Mana back in action on Friday night, which is going to be good. Myself and James McOnie bringing you that game. Good to see the Mana back. The Mana bus is back and running. The Mana, are they still talking to you, James, or are you made up? Did you go down there and give them a cuddle?
Yeah, my Woj Bomb days are kind of, I've put it on the shelf. Sorry, Joe Jury. I mean, he's been waiting for the bomb emoji and I'm sitting on so many stories.
So many bombs?
So many bombs right now.
Well, he just given some, we'll do it. Well, the ACC will release the bombs.
So many freaking bombs, but I just sort of feel like for the sake of my future interviewing privileges, I can't release my bombs.
Oh.
So it's sad, because I want all the journalists to do it. But, I mean, even the cricket journalists didn't go for the Kane thing. It was, you know what I mean?
Are you planning to drop the bombs at some point? Are you thinking of hiring out some kind of, 30-seater and putting it over top of Auckland and then dropping those bombs? Or are you holding on to the bombs?
I'm going to hold on to the bombs.
He's got a bunker. It's like, when that massive bomb that went off in Beirut, it was all a storage place for a whole lot of ammonium nitrate, and eventually it just blew up. That's James McOnie.
Yeah.
So he's got so many bombs. Eventually, there's going to be a spark, and they're all going to go off at once.
But what happens if a bomb goes off, James McOnie, and then you go, well, this whole time I could have warned you about this bomb?
In the end, you just have to go, it's fine, enjoy yourself. Congratulations 3 months after I knew, but yeah, write your story, Herald stuff, whatever.
So good,
go
mate.
for it. I'm sure you're really good at your jobs. But the thing is, there is so much information out there that's not getting out. There is so much.
Oh, God.
There's so much information.
That's a great tease, but I forgot to mention what we were going to do from here on in the Export Beer Garden studios when we're commentating Super Rugby. We're going to have a compulsory Crusaders Cuck Chair, where we're going to put a Crusaders fan in the corner of the studio and just sit them there, and then we could just berate them the entire time. And when they play like the likes of Moana Pacifica, we can just throw cans of beer at them.
Sweet. Are you open to masturbation occurring in the cuck chair?
Oh, gross.
Okay, moving on then. What else have we got to talk about?
What are you talking about? Okay, we're going to go to the NBA desk now. There was a good old scrap in the NBA between the Timberwolves and the Pistons with the players literally into the third row of the crowd. Here's some audio.
Holland was a really good high school player. Good fake.
Reed turned the corner and is fouled by Holland.
Man, come on now.
Come on now.
Big time ball now.
Basically, they were into the third row. People in the crowd were trying to break it up.
Do you know, you guys will be able to explain this to me. American sport cracks me up because, there's these shows that come out now and you can hear behind the sport, you get shown into how the sausage is made. There's a lot of ref mics and that type of thing going on. And some of the things they say to each other are genuinely horrific. And they're relationship-ending things. They're talking about people's mothers, talking about people's sisters, talking about people's ex-partners. Yet whenever a fight breaks out in American sport, it's like, I don't know, that sport has died for that day. I don't understand why they're so dramatic about their fights over there in the States. I mean, NHL.
Apart from NHL. The fight was shit, though. It was just basically a scragging match. And
I'm surprised more don't happen is my point where I'm going with
7 players were ejected, but someone auto-spelled it wrong on the graphics, and it came up, instead of ejected, with the list of players who got ejected from both teams, it said ejaculated.
Right. Now, that's a different list.
That's good comedy there, because someone said instead of they put ejaculated.
They might have, because you go back, have an early shower, and it's up to them what they do in there, and if they did ejaculate early, well, that's fine. Fine.
Like, G-Lane, how close?
And it happens to everyone, right? It happens to everyone. It's just a common thing.
Were you paying attention, G-Lane? You sure it didn't come up with an ejected list and then the ejaculated list came out?
Well, yeah, true, but I've never seen the ejaculated list. But, 3 Timberwolves were ejaculated and 4 Pistons were ejaculated.
Do you think each time, you and McOnie, for example, do a Super Rugby commentary, you think we could maybe have an ejaculated tally?
Well, every time Chiefs Mana score...
It's true. That's a good one. You can pretty much hear it.
Every time Amoni Narawa twinkle toes down the sideline, dots down, that's one for me.
Did you get the Keith Quinn? Actually, somebody, one of our yours pleasers said that we should make Jonah Lomu day,
yes.
Which I think we are going to do, right?
Absolutely. We need to do it. When is that day? I think it's coming up.
June-ish, I think.
Yeah, we need to find out that day.
May, June. Anyway, the one thing about the fights is, only ice hockey does it right. But the other thing is, people who sort of, you look at those NBA fights, sometimes I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. Their elbows being thrown.
Yeah.
People getting pushed mid-air, I think, is real shit, because they go flying into the freaking camera and stuff, and I just go, that would actually piss you off. Like, you would get up and fight.
If you get tipped up and smack your head on the court.
So I feel like they control themselves quite well. I feel like, is it 7 players getting ejaculated is a pretty mild total.
Yeah,
I would expect that every game.
Would you consider 7 ejaculations to be mild?
Yeah, yes. mild. 7 I'd expect at least 7 ejaculations per game.
Good for you.
It's ambitious. That's ambitious.
Yeah,
it's ambitious. Still staying on the NBA desk
per night.
The Brooklyn Nets, now legends at Brooklyn Nets. They've got a player in their team called Drew Timme. Now, every time, I
wonder what the commentator
does. Where's this going?
Every time Drew Timme scores, they play this.
It's hard to hear.
So they play South Park every time he scores, which I think is great work. And we worked out, James McOnie, we went to an ice hockey game in Las Vegas. And the entertainment is full noise. And there is no fucks given on IP. Like, in between each break, there's like a little clippet of South Park a clippet of The Simpsons, like a real hot take, just like taking the piss out of the opposition team. And we were sitting there, we're like, and if that was New Zealand, everyone would be like too scared to do that in case someone went after them from wherever. But no fucks given in the NHL. They were just hot with Disney, take that. South Park, take that. They were just putting clips everywhere. It was great. It was more fun watching the Jumbotron than the actual game itself.
I do remember working courtside at the Auckland Pirates, a team that lasted very briefly in the NBL. And it was my job to be sort of court announcer. My least favourite thing was going defense. I hated that. I just wanted to kill myself right then, like, take a big samurai sword and just end it all. But you have to do it, and but then you sort of have to celebrate when they score points. But recently, I think old Brooke Rusco got he got trapped out at Piha and was rescued. And when he was playing, I called him Piha Rusco, and was ripping into him all game. I didn't realise that it was having such an effect on the guy, because I thought it was a bit of bants. But he was in our team. He was in the Pirates. So so they
had a word to you.
They had a word.
You stop saying Piha?
Yeah, no, they were fine. Brooke had a laugh about it. He was absolutely he was all good. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite Timmy. But I also think that has that killed the name Timmy around the world?
Yeah, I think so.
South Park has killed that name.
It's a bit like Karen. There's not many Karens being born these days.
Adolf.
Not many Adolfs. Could make a comeback though. It's a generation away.
Watch the space.
Watch the space. My third child was going to be called Adolf, but I stuck with Franklin instead. Speaking of kind of engineered, how you had to say defense at emceeing. This is something that's really bothering me. New Zealand cricket are playing a slow clap over the PA system to get the crowd going.
Oh, this is interesting.
Oh, my God. And watching the games, when they want to make an occasion, whether it's a hat trick, whether it's a winning moment, whether it's a 50 runs or 100, they play a track of people slow clapping.
Right.
It slowly speeds up.
I know this is an obvious thing to say, but for the longest time, they've been trying to get people out of the ground that were doing things like the slow clap.
Or making noise.
Or making noise. And now that we're just, 3-4 years on from this, and now we're playing those sounds via a PA, it just hurts even more.
It's so hard when you're commentating and they start doing it. You can hear it on the tannoy, and then they stop it, and then you can hear...
There's about 3 kids in the crowd with clapping. A mini cricket bat looking for signatures that are still clapping along. It's all a bit depressing. But.
Yeah, anyway, we're back with commentary tomorrow from 11 o'clock to ODI number 2 on iHeartradio.
Could I make a point about DJs, stadium DJs in New Zealand? I think that the majority of them are boomers, because I was at the Blues the other night and I was listening to the playlist, and there's a couple of modern songs.
Yeah.
But, maybe a couple from the century.
Or something.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's Country Road and Sweet Caroline. I get it. They're sing-along classics. But then Rock Around the Clock? Only a boomer's playing Rock Around the Clock.
Do you know what it is? It's like
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
Yeah, it's not making a throwback playlist, is it?
Yeah. No,
you're not firing that up in 2025 on a Saturday night.
What it is
it's boomers on decks.
On Spotify.
Yeah, it is.
It's on Spotify because they're like, well, why are we paying this young DJ $1,000 to DJ for the night? Mate, I've got Spotify, I'll do it. And they're in the meeting, okay, Dave's going to do it. Okay, Dave, you're on music tonight.
Well, can we do a competition on the ACC for the rest of Super Rugby season where you have to guess the age of the DJ from the music that's been playing, and we'll find out from the organisation the actual age of the DJ.
Okay, that's a good idea. Sweepstake.
And so we'll give a prize.
Yeah.
Maybe Export Ultra.
We'll give you a Export Ultra Steady the Ship hat and a party shirt.
So you get a full ACC party pack, we'll call it.
Yep.
For if you can guess the correct age of the stadium DJ, and we'll do it for the rest of Super Rugby season.
Are we confident that it's the same DJ for every game, or like I was saying, is it going round the circle of the organisation? It's Steve's turn tonight. Get on. Yep. I've got my Spotify. It's all good. Yeah, I haven't got premium though, so you might hear some ads.
It's fine. We'll go to each franchise and say how old's your DJ.
Okay,
and we'll guess it.
I know at Auckland FC it comes from the top. It's there's not a private DJ situation there. It's more of a.
Is it Nick Becker? Is he on the Spotify?
I'm not 100% sure if it is Nick Becker
on the Spotify.
But we get given a old school USB drive at the beginning of each match day, and that's got that day's songs on it. It's about 20 songs. And we run those.
If they follow,
are you a stadium DJ?
No, he's the ground announcing. He's the hype guy.
But the DJ does sit next to me.
Defense.
No, I don't have to do any of that. Thank God.
You're so lucky, Finn.
What Finn's found out though, being the match day MC,
match day MC,
is that no one actually listens. And I think it took him a couple of games to realise that
it's a freeing realisation.
One,
everybody hates you.
You can't really hear what you're saying. 2, no one really cares what you're saying.
No.
And 3, everybody hates you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you accept those 3 factors, emceeing at a match day becomes quite easy.
It's the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
I see what Tony Lyle's up to.
Yeah.
You let go. And also you think you've got good material and it doesn't matter. They just want facts. They just want facts. How much are the hot dogs? Where are they?
Yeah. Where's the exits?
Yeah. What's the best way to get on the slide? You know, what apparel should we be wearing?
Let's ruin a couple of relationships with the kiss cam at some point.
Lost kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tell you what is awkward, and that is the Pukana cam at Breakers games.
Yeah, we haven't embraced that one at Auckland FC.
No,
I've been tabling it.
It's a revelation at WARS games.
Oh, the WARS games, absolutely it is. But you do that at a Breakers game, there's some confused people.
North Shore parents, give us your best Pukana.
Yeah. They're like this. They go,
oh, don't.
I know, but just don't put them in that situation.
Don't clip this off for Social Joe Jury because we are probably sponsored by a lot of North Shore parents, including G Lane.
G Lane is one of them.
G Lane is one.
All right, we have to move on, for God's sake.
The educational side of the Pukana, like the women's Pukana is done with the eyes.
There should be a team called the North Shore Pukanas.
Just riddled with irony.
Putting the putting the pussy into Pukana.
Okay. Stop.
Hey, anyway, this is some great news. The Export Ultra Beer Garden Tour is back. We've been to Paris. We've been to Beer Fest in Munich. We went to Amsterdam while we were there. Can't remember much of that one, but it's back for this year. And we thought, what's bigger than Beer Fest? Well, we're going to Texas. We're going to Austin, Texas, to be precise. A 7-day trip to Austin. So happens that Austin City Limits, the music festival, is on at the same time we're there, funnily enough. What a coincidence. So if you want to join us and the Export Ultra team, text Ultra to 3236. There's a link there. All you have to do is follow that link, enter your details, and you're in the draw. It is easy as that. It's not till October, the end of the year, so make sure you get into that. It is going to be one hell of a trip to Austin, Texas for the Export Ultra Beer Garden Tour 2025.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Rightio, this is the correspondence you give us. Been very good recently, James McOnie. We asked for a extension of the gene pool, and people have delivered. So there have been some screamers. So keep them coming through. The little microphone button on your iHeart app, smash that. Send us a message. First one, yours, please.
Double pneumonia. Tits on his head. Whatever happened on the mountain with the green whistle. Anus prolapse.
Oh, we're going to be here all day.
Nearly hung from a basketball hoop in a mascot costume. Beginning to think G Lane has a bit of a fetish for hospitals.
Wow, look, I just put myself out there, okay? Yeah, it's all. I put myself out there, and sometimes misadventure occurs. But I've learned a new word this week, and that is bussy. I never knew bussy, a bussy, so
I'm going to regret asking this, but what does bussy mean?
Bussy, come on. I didn't know what it meant, but it is the male pussy with the anus.
I regret asking it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you can thank the Green Party for that. I mean, apparently it's a derogatory term, but I've never heard the word, let alone it used in a derogatory fashion. I think it's quite sexy. I'm going to go home tonight and I'm going to clean up my bussy.
Okay, next one, yours please.
The audacity of Mania Stewart to have a shot across the bow at his Mrs. Jeff for being a hick and having to count her fingers, when he himself comes from the capital of inbreeding. Fuck the whole of Canterbury.
Well, was that
which hole?
Which hole of Canterbury?
Which hole would you, if you had to make love to one place in Canterbury, Mash, you're from there.
Yeah.
What is the bussy of Canterbury?
Oh, hang on, that's a different question.
No, that's a different question. We're just asking the whole of Canterbury that you would most like to.
The cleanest hole would be probably Yamira Vales.
Oh, you go for that fancy posh
Christchurch.
Yeah.
You go for the posh hole.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, as a North Canterbury...
Fendleton? You're going to say Fendleton next?
Fendleton would be nice. As a North Canterbury boy growing up, I looked into Mirrorvale and thought, you know what? I'll be there one day.
One day.
I'll be shutting my...
Take a look at you now.
I mean, was that Marcus Lush that sent that message in? That was so evenly paced throughout those allegations that were made on yesterday's show, by the way.
Dad, actually.
I thought it was Jeff's dad.
Oh, right. Okay.
Actually, I don't know what these people sound like.
I thought it could be Manai's dad, just pretty much going
fresh out.
Jeff's the best thing that's ever happened to you, boy.
Fresh. I think you'd definitely know if it was Manai's dad. Fresh out of the mines out of Perth, he would have been a few more swear words in there as well, I'd imagine.
Well, he could have been driving to the mine.
Yeah, true.
I'd fuck Hornby.
Did you? Hornby?
Really?
Just horn by name, horn by nature?
Hornby.
Tonight.
Ding, 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 ding.
I mean,
play it, Fitton. Play it. Play that song at Auckland FC, and we'll know you have any sway.
I'm horny.
Horny.
I'm going to go more of Sydenham.
Sydenham?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sexy
Sydenham's
Sydenham.
I don't know if it is sexy.
Well, Sockburn, that sort of
now we're
reminds me of my
talking.
teenage years.
I put the O in,
Sockburn.
I'd put the big O into Oxford.
Yep. What else is there? Cast?
What?
I'd fuck Cast.
Who?
Cast.
Cast. Where's that?
Cast.
Cast.
C-U-S-T. I think that's just on the way to Oxford. I might be wrong on that.
C-U-S-T. Cast.
What about Linwood?
Linwood.
I've got a wood for Linwood.
Well, man, went to school at Linwood. I know he'd do anything to go back to Linwood.
Shirley?
A nice place to do it
Shirley.
would be Sumner.
Oh, yeah. Romantic.
Sumner's lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with that easterly, though. They can whip through there.
What about what's the one up on the hills? What's that? The posh one on the hills?
Cashmere.
Oh yeah. Rolling some cashmere.
Damn it. Are you going to play Hornby? Hornby? Are you going to play Hornby?
You have to play.
I don't have access
Hornby
to any of our music right now.
Cashmere. You have to play Hornby and Cashmere at the next
What
AFC game,
kind
which
of
is this weekend.
Radio producer are you, Mash?
Yeah, I
can't
know.
access music.
I don't have access to that right now.
We got you because you're the music guru from Radio
Okay, I can add that in later. You want horny? Wait, why horny? Hornby, sorry, not horny.
Horny. I just want you to play it. I just want you to play it.
Oh, because of Hornby. Okay, sure.
Just play it in an Auckland FC game.
And then Cashmere as well.
Rightio, we've got
it's the start of Cashmere.
2 more of these to get through.
Yours, please.
Okay, yours, please.
Yeah, fellas, me again. Hey, I love a good fucking talk back after a few beers on a Monday.
Yeah, man.
And fuck, Mashy must have hit the jackpot here. The young unicycling magician from fuck nowhere, Canterbury, is on a top tier award-winning sports podcast. Take that, first 15 jocks. Who the man now, bitches? Yeah, fuckers. Love yous, fuckers.
There you go.
He's always going on there.
He's always turning left. I'm hoping that that indicator is him pulling off the road to record the message.
I mean, he might be pulling off.
But but look, it was well said. You've hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
It's an award-winning podcast. Might not be in a couple of months' time. But
I'm stoked about it. Over the moon. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you are. You look stoked. Anyway, next one. Yours, please.
Big fan of the prison exchange between the Hodaka breakfast and the ACC. Love the Manai Mash trade window. Not sure if this is what the trades Super Rugby needs, but keep going with it. Cheers, boys.
There we go. Yeah, so the prisoner swap. I said it was more of the trading window, but prisoner swap probably makes more sense.
Well, I like that. Like if you go to a sort of, it's a sort of foggy night, and there's a bridge, and there's an old Mercedes parked on one side, and then there's some crappy Eastern European car parked on the other side, and then those barrier arms, and then you trade them. They walk across the bridge
at the same time,
and we at the same time we swap our prisoners, and we go, and then we get matched, and then we go. Do you know how to play radio songs on this thing? Get back over there.
So if you got
off back to East Germany.
You got Pixie Campbell and I on one side of the bridge, and then you get G Lane and Manaya in one sprinter van on the other side of the bridge, and you'd put your 2 contributors out there, and we'd try and find a way to.
Has to be foggy.
It was definitely foggy
and dark.
Very
dark. Only the odd street light, maybe further down the railway line.
That's right.
Yeah,
you can only make
the sound
out
of a barking dog.
Yeah, barking dog.
Manaya will turn it into a run it straight comp halfway over the bridge, and like, come on, mate.
Yeah, Manaya.
I reckon you'd fold it.
He skipped over there though, Manaya. He skipped over there way too keen and jumped in that car. But I think now secretly he wants to get back in.
There's less hours in that car.
Yeah, less hours. But you know what? A little bit more punishment.
There's a lot of punishment.
Yeah,
especially on the drive home.
Yeah, a lot of punishment on the drive home. Anyway, that wraps up yours, please. Thanks for those. Don't forget, just smash the microphone button. The more, the merrier on that one would be great. We'll be back on Thursday with a Thursday episode of The Agenda, Thursday, Fridays. Wednesdays, we take a sabbatical. That's the holy day for us on a Wednesday, so you can take a break on that one. But we'll be back Thursday with another Agenda. Catch you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.